Obviously, again, it's that stage of the season where your team is right in the mix for all these trophies, the Premier League. But was there ever a point during this season where you thought that maybe you wouldn't be here in a Premier League title race, that maybe Arsenal would run away with it and your team weren't playing well enough to get within touching distance at this stage of the season?
I repeat the same. I didn't have. We make a bad season, or we make a drop a lot of games. The problem is Arsenal wasn't unstoppable, so they didn't make 50 points in one leg. So when that's happened, is heads off. So, but I think we didn't drop comparing much. I had the feeling from the previous seasons, but at the end we were consistent. Keep believing, stay there, game by game. What do you have to do? And at the end, the situation is the situation. So, but tomorrow, at home, when we feel comfortable with our people, I know everyone will be there, and we will feel them. Hopefully, now football can help to make them feel more and more, and we'll see. And after, the players will do the best.
Hi Pep, I want to ask you about Martin Odegaard at Arsenal. I believe you had him training with you in 2014 at Bayern. What do you remember from him at the time, and how do you judge his evolution the last 9 years?
We needed, and I remember perfectly because he came with his father maybe 2 or 3 days training sessions. He needs 5 minutes to say, this player play good, this player have fit. But I think he make a tour all around Europe. He make a training session for I don't know how many clubs, and at the end decide. And at the end, Arsenal was attractive for him, and he's an exceptional player. So, and if he's captain of his age in Arsenal, he's a short time being there, because I think it's 2 seasons or 2 seasons and a half or something like that. It's because having a special personality. I'm pretty sure Mikel didn't give the captaincy to him if he has not the strength or the ability to be captain.
Hi Pep, what can you say about Martin Odegaard's season so far, and how are you going to stop him?
So good so far, I would say. So good so far. Yeah, I played really good. He moved really good in the pockets, close to the box. He's not just a player to assist. Make it a winning game. He has scored a lot of goals, assists. Yeah, played really good.
And there are a lot of talking about all the records that Erling have. How much are you talking together about these records?
No, one day. No, honestly, no, one day. So I know he's close. I don't know how many goals he has to score to break the record, but I had the feeling he's happy when it's just to see him how he celebrate the goals of his mates. So when I'm impressed the most is that normally the strikers will just think about my goals, and he want to score goals and he's happy. But if you see when Riyad scored last day or other players, you see his joy and his happiness. So when you want to tell me how he is as a boy, is this example. So he's happy when the team win, when he can help, and then it's difficult to find a striker with these numbers. And normally we think, oh, just me, and me. And he's a guy who's completely the opposite. This is what I surprised the most of Erling since arrived.
Hi Pep, is Nathan Ake going to be available for tomorrow? Is there an update on his injury? I think you said on Friday that there's going to be a...
I think hopefully can come back soon, get well soon, but for tomorrow it's not ready.
Okay, I mean, do you think, I know the Real Madrid game's a couple of weeks away, but
I don't know.
And how does that impact your team? Obviously, he has a very specific role in the team, Nathan, where he starts at left back, pushes inside when you have the ball. I mean, how difficult is that to find a replacement for him for the next couple of games?
Yeah, but we'll find the right player to do it. I don't have doubts about that. We play 11.
A couple of weeks ago you said that you didn't think experience of having won the title before would be a factor in this title race. Arsenal's last 3 results would perhaps suggest otherwise. How difficult, from your experience both as a player and a manager, is it to win that first title, to close it out?
Always I had the feeling you said otherwise, you suggest that I was wrong when I said maybe it's true. All I can say, we can draw points in the next 3 games. All I can say. So now Arsenal dropped 3 points. We can drop points tomorrow, and the next against Fulham, and the next against Leeds or West Ham. I don't know. West Ham at home. We can drop.
But if you haven't won a title before, how hard is it as a player and a manager to do that, to get over the hurdle of winning a first league title?
First league title was 100 points, so it was not difficult.
No, I mean you as a manager.
As a manager, we won
Barcelona and Bayern Munich before. I'm talking about Mikel.
Well, in Bayern Munich we won in February, and in Barcelona we won 4 games in advance as well. So it's easy.
If it's you, it's easy.
Yeah, of course.
And can I just say, you called for the fans to make an incredible atmosphere tomorrow night and turn up 3 hours before kickoff. Are you concerned they won't be up for such a big game? Because surely they should be up for what's essentially a title decider.
No, I'm pretty sure the rumors I have, a lot of people will come and will support us. So I don't have doubts about that. So Premier League, I know in this country, in all the countries, especially this one, the Premier League is the Premier League. And it's many months, and play at home against the team have been the best team in the league. We can forget we are 5 points behind them. That is the only reality. The people say, no, I have 2 games left in hand. You have to win it. I would prefer I play these 2 games in hand with 6 points. So you have to win it. So, and nobody knows it's going to happen. So the reality is we are 5 points behind Arsenal. So the best team so far, for the numbers, for many things, for the part of the season, fantastic football playing the season was there. And the important is that we were, after our past in terms of titles, still we are there. And always months ago I said, hopefully we can have the chance, when Arsenal come at home, still we are there. And that is the reality. At the end, we could do it. And now we have to do another. Of course, after we have still 7 more games to play, a lot of games, I would say. Well, it's not 50, 20 games still, but 7 games is still a lot with of course, Champions League involved. But that is a position like was in November or December I could not expect. And fortunately, we are here.
Pep, you've won so many things in the game. Do you still get nervous before a game?
Yeah.
Like tomorrow night? How nervous? How do you manage the nerves?
No, I manage well, but that is a good sign. Be a little bit nervous. So the people like the society teenagers. So all of them are psychologists for mental health, and because they don't accept be nervous is part of our lives, be anxious is part of our lives. Be scared is part of our life, and nothing happened. We don't have to be perfect. We educate our kids; they have to be perfect for Instagram and TikToks and these kind of things. They have to be genius. They see that, how good they are. So when you are in that position, are happy, then it's part of the life. It just it happened now because I would say what they do, what you have to do. So the uncertainty. Things that always before a football game it's happened. So when I feel that feeling, so I know myself that it's normal. The problem would be if I don't have that feeling. But in the same time, when after the game, whatever happened, and good or bad or whatever, I said, well, it's part of the game, and the next one. So, and I like to live this kind of, adrenaline. I would say maybe it's the best word to define this. The adrenaline that you have in the end, but I sleep quite well, so in that terms it's not a problem.
Thanks.
Hi Pep. A couple of players said after the Bayern game that they're more comfortable when you have to suffer now in matches and it doesn't all go to plan. Is that something you've seen from the team, and does that make you more confident going into a match like tomorrow?
I hear these words from Bernardo, and Amparo can be agreed. So, but I try to plan the game to avoid that as much as possible. So I don't like to suffer when the opponent has chances, and I try to minimize as much as possible. When I say no, sometimes Pep wants 90 minutes of control the ball. Yeah, this is where I'm working every single day to have 90 minutes control of the game. Score a lot of goals, concede few chances, but in the same time, in the past as well, you have to accept that sometimes it don't happen because the opponent play, because always we just you lose the game, how bad you are, and we cannot see what the opponent can do. Many good things. The difference is maybe because the defenders are proper defenders, in terms they defend well, and that helps us to be, to be solid. But tomorrow is not going to happen this for the way they play. And also after a few days after we won the semi-finals of the Champions League, I had the same feeling than before. Doing the same with Bayern, both games, the 4-1 is fake. So it was not that distance of the both games to be 4-1. And last season, it doesn't matter. Now that sometimes you do it and you lose. So that's why the experience gives me the time to analyze a little bit better, not just for the results, how perform my team. And my team had the feeling the game against Bayern, both games, I don't know, will be enough, to win tomorrow or in Champions League, get to the final. So I think I had the feeling we have to, in some departments, we have to improve.
Hey Pep, you just said that it was normal for you to be nervous ahead of matches. I presume that applies to your players as well. And how do you counter that? How do you kind of keep that under control?
But they have experience too. Everyone has to find his own, meditation. I don't know, to prepare himself what they need, music or prepare before the game. But the team is ready. The team is ready to the big battle tomorrow. I'm pretty sure how difficult it will be. Suffer the bad moments and try to try to do it. So because will be always, I had the feeling that would have been so difficult to play against Arsenal in that stage. But after 3 games like they drop points will be much, much more difficult. I would have preferred come here with better results than the fact that 3 last results that didn't win a game. So always have been difficult. With these results will be much, much more difficult.
Pep, you've built up the team have built up such an aura here now, not just with all that you've won, but the manner and the way you've often won it. There's long winning streaks at this time of the season, holding off, brilliant Liverpool twice to win by a point. The comebacks, Aston Villa. I mean, even before you came, you saw that under Mancini. Is it intimidating for opponents now, City at this stage of the season? Is there a big intimidation factor around Manchester City? Have you created a big intimidation factor for
the opponents?
Yeah,
you have to ask them. I don't know.
What's your gut feeling though? I mean, when you're chasing these sort of things, a lot of people seem to get a bit stage fright against you.
I don't know what the opponents think about our position. What I'm thinking, we have been humble enough to be in the position again after many years, and the only thing you can do it is when you respect a lot. I respect, our staff respect, to transmit to the player respect to the opponents. It doesn't matter which one is, and it doesn't matter the competition we're going to play for. That is one of the biggest. Otherwise, when you win a lot, you start to believe something like really you are not, you go down. And I think always we were, I would say, quite stable, stable in the terms.
So it's fair to say then your team never get intimidated by this challenge? They embrace it?
I would say no. So the challenge is there, it's nice. So. At the same time, when I said your colleague for the fact that the situation, in the same time, what the pleasure again to be here, that? So what an honor to tomorrow, all UK are going to watching us, maybe a lot of part of the world the globe is going to watching us in our stadium. People support us unconditionally, whatever going to happen, because they know exactly what we have done the last years, even this season, every single day. The part, wow, how nice it is, honestly. So, and that's why. So, because I said many times to the players, so don't be for granted that. So we are here again. Who knows next season who will be? And the experience of many important clubs in the Premier League, in the other leagues, it happened. So not for the fact that you say what you have done, you have to win it again and win it again. And next season will be started from zero, everyone. and you believe no because we are special, we have a special area where you say because you are down. You cannot be sit, you know, at the end of the season fighting for where we're fighting right now.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.